Stick Your Neck Out, the weekly podcast of the Giraffe Heroes Foundation.
Leaving an abusive relationship is the time a woman or her children are most likely to be seriously harmed or murdered by their partner. Violence against women in Zimbabwe is partially accepted as a fact of life, especially by elderly counselors that traditionally perceive women as the property of their husbands. My guest today was known as a strong woman, running restaurants and catering services successfully. She also started a kindergarten for single mothers, but hardly anyone knew about her well-hidden tragedy. Welcome to Stick Your Neck Out, the podcast to restore your faith in humanity. My guest today, Precious Kiwiti from Zimbabwe, recently completed the kanthari course in India and is now jumping into the practical part of her kanthari training. Now, she is about to head back to her country to work with women and girls who have been affected by domestic violence. Her passion to do this work, is the result of personal experience. Welcome, Precious.
Thank you, Jean-Pierre. Thank you so much for inviting me to be part of this.
Of course, it's really nice to have you here.
Thank you. Yeah.
So, your organization, Precious Hearts Haven, plans to work towards the elimination of gender-based violence against girls and women in Zimbabwe.
Sure.
What do you exactly plan to do to empower girls and women in your country?
Okay, for us, Precious Hearts Haven, we want to empower women to be leaders, not just to empower for them to be self-sustainable, no, but we want them to be victors, to be able to move beyond abuse, to rise with dignity and able to get that victory part of their life.
That's great. Sounds like a good plan. Zimbabwe is probably one of the African countries that best illustrate an increase in the rate of gender-based violence in recent years. What are the most common acts of violence, of domestic violence in Zimbabwe?
To me, I can simply say all forms of violence are affecting women in Zimbabwe. Why am I saying this? I'm taking it from my personal experience. So you find emotionally, physically, financially, all forms of violence women are facing. And it's something which is done every day, every minute. Imagine the Gender Commission reported that every 75 minutes, a woman is being abused.
75 minutes?
Every 75 minutes, a woman is being abused in some way. So it's something that is happening every day. And moreover, this COVID pandemic have caused an increase to an extent that 1 in every 2 women is being abused. So the cases are still rising.
That's really sad. But what are the main gaps in access to justice faced by women who are victims of gender-based violence back in your homeland?
The problem is you find it's so difficult to come out as a victim.
Yes, right.
We have laws that protect these women, but the unfortunate part, a lot of women doesn't know about these laws which protect them. So, and the issue is if one goes to report, you must find that like in police station and other part, it's called just a domestic issue. Like you are taken to a public relation setup, then they just mediate you to like say, okay, you guys just get to an understanding point. It's a domestic issue. Everyone is experiencing that. So those are the kind of things that you find. So in most cases, you find women, they don't even go to report because even if they go, the police officers, they are men, they just settle things that way. Yeah. And I'm talking this from my experience. You find even during the time that I used to go and report, those were the cases like, oh, you don't have to do that to your husband. Imagine if he goes to jail for 18 months, what are you going to do with the kids? You see all those kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So that's the issue. Most women doesn't go and report the cases. Mm-hmm.
It's understandable too. So we're going to talk about your experience, of course, later. I just wanted to. There's something I really wanted to ask you. Do you think this challenges in efforts to eliminating violence against women in Zimbabwe are rather legal or cultural obstacles?
To me, it's both. It's not only cultural. Even if you find even religion norms, these things are normalized. Like, okay, God is with you. Enjoy the pain. You get your prize when you go to heaven. It's just no more as that kind of thing. So you find it's not only cultural, but also social norms, all sort of things. They are involved in this to go on like the way it is like right now.
Yeah, I see. Precious, you are a gender transformation activist because you have had an abusive environment at home. You told us about that. Can you tell us your story?
Okay. For me, I have experienced gender-based violence not once, but twice. And I can tell you that I have experienced all sorts of abuse. We are talking about rape, mock execution, being chained physically, emotionally, everything. I have faced that. And you find it was not that easy for me to come out or to speak about it the way that I'm doing right now. At one point, I had to go through depression, which led to a mild stroke at one point. And I end up going to an extent of trying to take my own life because I couldn't take it anymore. Not because I didn't have family to talk to. No, I did have, but there were so many things that was holding me back and making me not to speak out. At church, I was a leader, and you'll find that I was one of the people who would encourage people to pray and enjoy the pain. So coming out and say that now I'm the one who is facing this, it was difficult for me. And you find a lot of people were admiring the kind of life that I was, like they were seeing the outside part. When you go out, you put makeup, all those kind of things, they will admire that. So now to say that now I'm suffering like this, I would think all those kind of things like, okay, what people are going to say. And you find in Zimbabwe, if you are a married woman, you are respected if you stay in your marriage long. So if you come out, even men, they can take you like a prostitute because there's this kind of saying that we say, the nickname that those people who come out from marriage, like return soldiers. So that kind of labeling, no one wants to feel that way. So you would just remain silent and enjoy the pain silently. And some, they to an extent of dying in the marriage, with and family doesn't even know what happened. So those were the kind of things. And this kind of abuse, it depends. With me, you find I was cut off from my friends. I was cut off even from my family members. Though for my family members, I contributed as well because I didn't want to hurt them, all those kind of stuff. So this was my experience. The good thing, I was rescued when I almost gave up on my life. So that's how my experience is in my 2 previous marriages. Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you something really personal.
Yes. Go on.
What was happening exactly behind the doors? You know, when you were at home, you closed the door. I mean, you were working and then you came back home, you closed the door, put your, I don't know, home clothes kind of to be like cozy at home. What happened then?
In my first marriage, it was more drug influence from my husband part, my ex-husband part. So you find most of the time when he is intoxicated, you was not in his normal senses. I'm not going to go deeper on that, but on my second, it was more of jealousy. Like at first, I can say I liked the what we call it, like to be treated. You know, women, we like that kind of attention, to be checked on here and there, but it later went to overprotection to an extent that every hour, every minute, I had to explain what I'm doing, where I am, all those kind of things. And for me, it went to an extent that even driving I stay in Harare, driving from the city center to the place where we were staying, time could be calculated like, okay, I expect you to be home in 15 minutes. If you experience a traffic jam, all those kind of things, I know that it was going to be a serious issue. I have to explain, and all those kind of things, even money, because we end up like he stopped me to go to work after my brother passed away because I was running a restaurant together with my brother. So to him, he felt like, no, you can't do it alone. And all those men and all those people, they can just entice you and take you out of me, something like that. So when I was home now, you find asking for every cent, like even if you want to buy our daughter a packet of some chips, you have to, if he gives you $1, you have to bring the extras. If you use the extra change, you have to explain, and sometimes it could go wrong, like you end up being beaten. So to me, you find even if you respond back, it was a case. If I don't respond again, it was a case. I end up like just hearing the gate opening. My heart could just pump like, okay, what's going to happen today? Something like that. Like I was not settled at all.
Yeah.
Every sound, I would feel like, okay, something is about to happen. So you couldn't smile. We don't know how, even if you try to act like what you are saying, to be dressing, cozy clothes, all those kind of things. It was an issue. Where did you get that from?
Oh,
all those kind of stuff is done with prostitutes, all those kind of stuff. Even if because you find a church, we have those women groups where we talk like, oh, you have to keep on upgrading yourself, bedroom, change the setup,
blah, blah, blah,
all those kind of things. If you
stuff,
come and do new things, to me, it was something else. So that was the kind of life that I was living. So I end up like getting used, like a slave. Like I just have to say yes, sir in everything. I was no longer feeling like a wife. It was like,
no, you were in prison.
Yeah.
You were in prison.
So it was something that I just have to wait. Whatever he says, I have to just be submissive and please him for me to be safe. So that was the case with the way that I experienced it. It's deep, but this is just the other experience. But yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
One can actually understand why you try to end up your life. Like it's at some point understandable, but luckily you didn't. You managed to not to do that. What happened?
For me, sleeping was something which was close to death to me. So during that time, I just said, no, I think if I just sleep to death, it will be something that is good. So what happened, I just sent my kids to church. But before I sent my kids to church, I just sent a phone message to my brother asking him to take care of my kids. I think that was the best thing that I can say I did. Otherwise, by now, I couldn't be there because I was really sure that I have to end my life right now, right here. Yeah. So the good thing, because I was expecting that my brother, when he finished church, you see the message because he's a pastor. So it's very unfortunately, you get to saw the message before you even went to church. So by the time that I was still gathering courage to take the poison, because I had mixed a different kind of poison in a glass to just take it just like that. So at that point, his wife saved me because they have seen the message early. Yeah. So
yeah. I mean, fortunately, it's like luckily they were here and they were there for you, and that's really, really important in such a situation. So, but you also need to be really courage, also like to be thinking about finishing your life, but then stopping it. So it shows also like a lot of power and self-confidence, and you are like a successfully an independent woman. So Do you remember how this could change? Like, what did it take to get you to the position of not being able to speak out first?
Yeah, I can say those kind of situations that I was telling you, like how people saw me, like during that time. I was someone who was being admired by people, the community itself, the way that I could cover my bruises and all those kind of things. People would admire me. You find even when I was after I was rescued, when I was running a restaurant, uh, people, they could come and talk their personal issues, like from home. There's a time that I could explain that I've been there. This is how it was to me. Of course, there's no better abuse or a worse abuse. Abuse is just abuse.
It's abuse, yeah.
So during that time, you find even people couldn't believe. The good thing that I did during my journey of going through all this hard time, sometimes I could take photos. Some women, they could just, like say, oh, so you have been there, after they see the photos. So that was the situation. It was not easy to come out. And the other thing, me being the only girl in my family, you find the day that I got married, it was something like in the community. I can simply say I was one of the women who had the bride price, which was a little bit higher, and the kind of wedding. So thinking of that, like to say, okay, now going back to my parents' place, how are those people who get that as we were dancing say about me, all those kind of stuff. So those were some of the things. And to make matters worse, after my independence, like for me to go to work was cut. I felt like I was not able to even take care of my kids.
Okay.
So he was the only source of finance in the house, including myself. So I would say, okay, for my kids' sake, let me just enjoy the pain. Though even my kids, they were the ones who were saying, okay, mom, we have to get out of this. We have to run. But you find I was one of the person who was saying, oh, okay, you only understand when you grow up. This is one of the things that you find in every house, only that people, they don't say it.
Okay.
But now, even if I think about it, I laugh to myself, like that time I was really seeding a seed to my kid that even if he get abuse, she has to be fine with it, which was wrong. Only now that
you were making more harm than saving, kind of. Yeah.
So you find out even some elders that I was consulting help from, those were the kind of stuff they were telling me, like, okay, that's how the marriage is. So, and if you see all those gray hair old couples living together now, they've experienced the same. So it's just a test. That's how marriage is. So to me, it was like, okay, all women, they went through this, so I have to. And I was also seeding a seed to my daughter to say, okay, if you grow up, you get to experience this and you have to be fine with it, which was wrong. So that was my journey. And
but luckily now you can tell your daughter something else.
Yeah,
you can tell your daughter, no, speak up.
Yes,
that's not the way it is. And that's I mean, it's difficult because you lived like in hell. But the good thing, if you look at it positive, is that now you are able to empower also your girl.
Mm.
So today, you are able to look back on 2 marriages in which you experienced psychological control and physical abuse, torture, kind of. And by now you can see the patterns, like like what are the red flags you can see in a marriage? Can you share them with us?
Okay, the red flags are, I'm taking this from what I experienced. Those are the things that even now I can look back and say, okay, the signs were there. We are talking about the same thing, like controlling. It's something that comes slowly but sure. That attention that I was talking about, it first starts as an attention, and as a woman, you'll be fine with it, but it end up to overprotection, that everything will be just, okay, I don't want you to go out this time. I want you to go this place with me. All those kind of, like, you can't do it without me. All those kind of stuff. So that's one of the the red flag. We are talking about a sudden change, like when you find your partner becoming suddenly excessively jealous of anything. That's one of the red flags. We are talking about those anger issues, that every argument, it end up in breaking of things, like throwing of stuff, banging of doors. Those are the red flags. We are talking like when you want out, then your man or your partner says, okay, I can't live with you without you. If you leave me, I'm going to commit suicide. All those kind of manipulation,
So
kind of,
possessive,
yeah. So there are so many things that we look as red flags. Women that we ignore such kind of things. I mean, controlling, like to be cut off even some of your friends and family, is one of the red flags as well. Because it's cutting now. The next thing, you'll be just yourself and him and nothing more. And the other problem is just that us women, when we are in love, we expect that maybe after we get married, my partner will change. Like, he'll be a bit mature, because these are the things that you see during the time that you'll be dating, and we ignore. And some of the red flags, even for kids, we are saying that kind of enticing, like being given gifts and all those kind of stuff. I can call it a red flag, especially for girls, because you don't know the next time you'll be enticed to come and take maybe an iPhone, then you are raped, those kind of stuff. So that's some of the red flags that we have. There are more. If I start to speak by one, we end up the whole day because I really need to get into detail in every red flags that we have.
But it's like speaking to you and thinking about this whole situation. I know a number of people may think that the only solution to a situation where there has been a history of abuse is to leave and get a divorce. Is this the best option? How did the situation work for you?
Okay, from the people that I've helped, some women and what, there are so many things that we have to look up to. Okay, as me, Precious, I can say if you are experiencing all those kind of red flags, some of them that I've spoke about, the best thing is to run, like to leave it. But there are some of the things like it's just a one-time thing. You know, not saying that it's an excuse. A person, an individual has to control whether it's anger or anything. But you have to weigh, like, this is just a one-time thing. He was just angry, maybe just once, and that's it. And apologize there and there. Yeah, to me, I can say maybe you can give it a chance. Everyone deserves a chance.
Yeah, but how long? I mean, how much chance you are going to give?
Not how many chance. That's why I'm saying one-time thing. One-time thing is just one-time thing. You can't say, okay, I'm giving you another time, another chance. No, a one-time thing is just it. But if it's something that is constantly going on, if it happens twice, to me, I can say just leave it, because that person, when you are a boyfriend and girlfriend, or you have a partner, some of the things are hidden until you get to stay with a person. So those kind of signs, you most oftenly you find it will be hidden, the time, because the time that you are spending with your partner is just that short. Maybe when you go for coffee or those kind of things, that's when you came to see maybe few things. But when you're staying, you get the whole bunch of a person. You know this person is like this. So it's better to avoid whilst you are still in that kind of relationship as girlfriend and boyfriend, then just leave it. That's my best advice, because to me, love doesn't hurt.
Yeah, that's right.
So there's no point that we can give an excuse that, okay, it's just a one time, let's do this. But sometimes you have to look back. Maybe, let's say you have been dating for 3, 4, 5 years and it just happened once, and you're about maybe to get married or to commit more to this. To me, I can say it's something that had it been with me, I can say, it's fine. I can deal with this. But constantly different types of anger issue, cut off friends, all those kind of stuff. Run. I can say to that woman who's listening to me, run before it even goes worse. Yeah.
Run, Forest,
Yeah.
run.
Yeah.
So all this situation led to start your organization, Precious Hearts Haven, which wants to help turn around mindsets of survivors and empower them. Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's also one of your ideas.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about your haven.
Okay. The heaven, I can simply say the solution that I'm hoping to implement when I get back home. I have a 4-step approach. We have, it's so difficult for victims to speak out, like what we were saying. It's not that easy. So we are going to start with sensitization, which is our first step. Here, I'm going to use food and cooking as a tool to bring women out, because we are trying to create a safe place where they can come, where they are free, because it's not easy to just say, okay, women, let's come and talk about this. We have to bring something that brings women together. So to me, because I have experience in food and all those kind of restaurant thing, I felt like food is one of the things that brings people together to speak, to talk. Yeah. So we are going to bring them out. We cook as we share recipes. We share our personal story. We bring issues of those red flags. We speak about issues about even this domestic violence act that we have in Zimbabwe, and how one can help someone who is being abused. It's not all of us who are being abused. Someone might need to help a sister or mother or those. Yeah. So those are the issues that we are going to talk at that step. Then we go to safe haven now. You find victims, they want out. They want to run away from the danger. But the difficult part, the problem is they don't have a safe place to run to. So here we are going to rescue those who are in danger, give them temporary accommodation as we figure out how best what they want to do. And from there, we are going to offer legal aid advice for free. And as well, we are going to even help them with counseling services. Then on third stage, that's where we are doing, it's now a transition stage now. Now they are safe. They have come out of the danger. Here we are going, trauma doesn't, we don't overcome trauma overnight,
No, that's a process.
Yeah. So along the way, you need support. You need to be encouraged. You need all those therapeutic activities. So here we are going to do like Zumba, those kind of activities. Gardening is therapeutic as well. And I like this because I learned swimming here at kanthari. Synchronized swimming, all those kind of stuff. Yeah, and this is the stage we are going to teach even self-defense skills like karate and all those kind of tricks.
Awesome.
How to protect.
So they can
them.
also defend themselves.
Yeah, yeah. Even to help other people. Then the fourth part, which is the final part. Here, because we want to see these survivors rising with dignity and to be victors. We want them to be leaders of their own business, not to work for other people, but for them to lead and even employ those men or abusive people to their companies. So here we are going to train them leadership skills. We are going to use a chain of restaurant, which is called Kubatana in Shona, which means connect, where we are going to train them marketing skills, customer services, even financial management. So okay, now awesome. after the training, they will go back to their communities as leaders of their own businesses and encourage even their workers to stop the violence and preach the word of peace and stop of violence against women or violence in general. So this is what we are, because all what we want is for them to be from victims to be victors of their lives. Yeah.
That's right. It's really a beautiful approach. How do you want to reach people? I will imagine most women don't really want to talk about violence. Remembering, for example, one of your first experiences with gender-based violence, when you realized your sister's neighbor was being beaten up and caged and not allowed to contact other women. So how can you imagine approaching such a case today? How will you help in this particular case?
So such cases, you find place by place they have different rules and laws of the community. But the good thing now, the government of Zimbabwe have been working towards this implementation of these laws. So you find in every police station, we now have what we call victim-friendly unity. They know that domestic violence is happening. So it's my duty to report, to give details, like for that person to be rescued. Now, the good thing that I managed to register my organization last year is now known. I'm able to go and take a police officer or a law enforcement person
That's awesome.
and accompany me to go and rescue someone. So it's now easy for me to do that. But still, we are saying even those, if I'm not around, if someone witness someone being abused, still they can just approach as anonymous to a police station and give details that so and so at house number this and this is being abused. Even to reach out to us, we can help them. The good thing, I have opened a WhatsApp group where we are talking about this, and I'm so overwhelmed that even women, they are now protecting each other. It doesn't mean that you need to know that this is precious. You can find, okay, women, ladies, let's help this and this at house number, this. She's experiencing this, those kind of stuff. So it's now working, and people are aware, and that's one of the best things that I can say. At least women are becoming more aware bit by bit. It's not yet there where we want, but things are starting to happen. Yeah, things are starting to happen.
I think it's a long process. Also, like you mentioned before, that you are planning to, since you are a registered NGO right now, that you can go with a police officer who is going to, to this place. But the question is there some police officers who really want to go with you and get mixed in this home situation? Like, you know what I mean? Like
the issue now, the fact that those units were put at a police station, it now gives even us power, like to say, Officer ABC, please escort me. There's a case ABC which is happening there. If they refuse, the good thing, I'm able to take it further because it's a unit which was put only for that. So if they don't want to escort me, then yeah, we'll make noise.
That's a good one. We are going to make.
Yeah. So you find these police, they are giving excuses that these women, they are not coming out. So now, us as organizations, we are helping them. Even a person doesn't come out, we are helping them to identify where these issues are being happening. So yeah,
no, that's great. Yeah, for all the girls and women out there experiencing something like this, but also if you know a friend or experiencing these behaviors from a partner, remember, it is not your fault, and there are advocates waiting to help. Therapists and other experts often talk about abuse as something that happens within a clearly defined cycle. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Basing on my experience, you find there's what we call honeymoon phase, where things will be perfect. You'll be so in love. I'm talking to those who are in relationship. So it comes to a point that that kind of love is gone, and the pressure of abuse is there. Then comes the sorry part, like, okay, it's now, I apologize, I won't do it again, all those kind of things. Then it comes back again. We go back to the honeymoon phase where things will act maybe in a short time like everything is perfect. Then it comes back again. So it's just, it continues like that, yeah.
It's like a vicious cycle. It's like it's repeating everything.
This minute,
and you don't go out.
We will be so in love. Then the next minute you start again, you apologize. We go back to the honeymoon again. It comes back and it continues like that. Then
it's so sad. It's so sad. Precious, you are devoting your life to gender equality and the elimination of violence against women. You're about to train and empower a lot of women. What is, in your opinion, the cause of violence against them?
Violence, it is caused by many factors. I'll take the issue back home in Zimbabwe. You find traditional beliefs that we were talking about, that a man just have power after paying that lobola thing, that dowry thing. He has power and control over his wife. And as a woman, you just have to please your husband. It's a traditional belief that it has to be like that. Even if he demands sex, as a woman, you just have to be submissive and please your husband. We are talking about issue of social norms, like what I was saying, like what people, how community expect a married person to be. Like you are judged to be a good woman after you stay in a long-lasting marriage, even if it's known that you are being abused. By enjoying the pain and staying in the marriage, you are considered as a good person. We are talking about issues of drug use with men. You find these days, because of our economic issues in Zimbabwe, you find a lot of men, when they don't find ways to navigate out of their problems, they end up taking those drugs and all those kind of things. So you find when one is in the influence of drugs, he can do anything, beating, anything he can do. So some it's influence of that. We are talking about poverty. Like I said, the situation of economic issues in Zimbabwe is difficult. Those kind of stuff, the men, they put their anger to their wives back to home when they have to put something on the table, when they fail to do that. All those kind of stuff. We are talking about those poverty. Like I said, it's poverty. Yeah, those are some of the things that I can say they are contributing to this. I call it a hidden pandemic to go on just like that. Yeah.
And how do you fight domestic violence? What will you tell the girls you're going to train right now? How can they fight this situation?
We have to speak out. We have to be out. We have to stand. There's no excuse to any abuse. There's no excuse at all. Even if I'm the one at fault, there's no excuse for you to put a hand on me. We have to learn to solve issues, problems without using emotions, without using all those kind of substance. So to all the women who are hearing me right now, no is a no. If you say no, that I don't want this, you don't want that, there's no but to a no. So there's no excuse to abuse, even if you have drink, let's say alcohol. There's no excuse for a man to abuse you because we are drunk. A no is a no, like what you're saying, no. a no is a no. So even if it's coming from a child, if she says no, it's a no. So there's no excuse to that. So we are saying that let's speak out. Let's not be silent. We are speaking to those, even other women who protect other incidents. Let's say if a child is being raped, in most cases, you find that most perpetrators are family members. And the issue is dealt with within family, and it's kept as a secret to protect the family name. We are saying speak out, because you are seeding a seed which will cause even that child to take it even further when she gets married. So we are saying let's break the chain now. This is the time, even for men who are out there. What you are doing in front of those kids, they'll think that that's life. And even if they grow up, you'll find that that's what they'll take, even to their wives or their friends. So let's stop it and let's try to solve problems in a peaceful way. Yeah, that's the best I can say. This is the time that women, you have to stand up. Girls, you have to say no. You have to scream a big no, like this is the high time. We have to stop. That's the end. Because if we don't end it now, trust you, this will be another kind of COVID-19 pandemic where we are going to. Yeah. So if you don't control it like now to act like now, trust me, if you give it another year, it will be something else because how it happened during the lockdown only, it's something that it is shocking. Almost a lot of women were suffering during this COVID-19 lockdown because of this gender-based violence thing. So we have to stop now. Yeah.
Actually, I wanted to talk to you about that because everyone knows that this confinement situation caused by COVID-19 does not affect everyone equally. Violence against women can be exacerbated during confinement, since in many cases, victims of gender violence are forced to live with their abusers 24 hours a day. And they may face additional obstacles to fleeing in violent situations and accessing essential services. Um, what measures of protection and assistance to victims of gender-based violence can be put in place to address this situation? How can the people outside can help these people who are 24 hours with an aggressor?
I always say, even to other women that I talk to, constant checking on each other. It's not something which is expensive. A simple hi, you can pick that something is not wrong. Something is wrong to that person. So now this is the time that us as women, we have to protect each other. Of course, I'm not going to say all the tricks here because we don't want to awake the perpetrators about other tricks and what other women has to do to help someone who is being abused. So it's the whole issue is now in our hands as women to protect each other so that this hidden pandemic ends. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when we think of domestic abuse, most of us just focus on physical violence only. Would you agree that emotional abuse is just as damaging to the victim?
Emotional is one of the strongest thing which even can bring someone down, like someone to an extent that I have to end my life. So it's not only physical because the emotional abuse is something that you dealt with mentally. Like even if you try to close your eyes and try to hide from that, it always come back. We are talking about words. You know, those words, even if the person says sorry, those words keep on coming. You are a loser. You are fat. You are what? You are nothing. You cannot do all things without me. All those kind of stuff. You are a failure in life. All those things can break you into pieces to an extent that even your self-esteem is doomed. So it's not only physical. Emotional can affect us as victims as well. Yeah.
As much physical, as the physical one. But what about the government? I mean, what are some examples of governmental structures that need to be in place to reduce and hopefully eliminate domestic violence in Zimbabwe?
Safe places is one of the most things that I want for women to have. Because we are saying we have a culture that this issue of abuse, you cannot share. As a married person, we call it that if you are experiencing things in your house, let it be. Don't let your dirty linen out of your home or something like that. But you find when I open this WhatsApp group, how women have hunger to speak about these issues. So it's more of safe places where women are free to speak about this, where women are able to run and get the help they need at any time. Not to have only law being enforced during the 16 days of activism. Like now what's happening, you find it's something that is happening. And when those days are done, then that's it. We don't want that. We want things like we have to keep on speaking about it. We have to create more safe places for these women to run to where they feel that they are safe from any harm of abuse.
And what about we? I mean, us, like as individuals, what can we do to tackle violence against women?
That's one of the things that I was saying. Like you can protect someone by reporting the cases. If you see that someone is being abused, you don't need to think twice. You have to go and report there and there. If it is someone that is even close as a relative, you find even if you tell, okay, let's go and report, they always persuade you to go. But you know that you want to protect this person. The best thing is to report to the police, is to report to those service providers who can give them the support. Because we have a lot of things that makes people not to go, like fear of the unknown. Like, okay, if I move from this place, what am I going to do after I move out? So it's better for me to stay here. So you find they can get the help after they reach that safe place. So it's more of you reporting to any support system that you know that it helps victims of gender-based violence.
Mm, mm. Yeah, that's right. So your main objectives at Precious Hearts Haven are to rescue and shelter victims and survivors of domestic violence, a 24 hours crisis helpline, psychological support, training in self-help income generating, projects as well as advocacy activities against domestic violence. That's a hell of a ride, and I guess with this agenda, you have a vision for your community. How is the Zimbabwe you wish to create, the Zimbabwe you envision?
I envision to see a Zimbabwe which is free from this violence, where any person doesn't want to be associated with being an abuser or with this violence thing, where families, they can talk peacefully, solve problems peacefully without abusing each other, where even men can stand in front in protecting a woman from being beaten maybe by another man. This is what I look forward to. The good thing, other men, they have started to stand up right now. I'm talking about some who are even part of my team, who are advocating around the different part of the Zimbabwe, saying no to abuse. If you are a woman is wrong, there's no excuse for you to abuse. Calm down and deal with the issues in a peaceful way. So I'm seeing a Zimbabwe which is known by controlling this abuse thing. You know what I'm talking about, like where anyone doesn't want to be associated with abuse at all. Yeah,
It's a really beautiful Zimbabwe. Do you think you're going to manage to do that in the next 5 years?
if we join hands together, all these things, it doesn't happen with me. It's a matter of us joining hands, and to those women to join hands and say no to abuse, because it's something that we need to us as women to step forward for these men to follow. So it needs us to speak out, and also for men to come and say, okay, let's join hands together to end this. The same way that we are doing to COVID-19 pandemic. Everyone, we are putting our heads together to solve this pandemic. We do the same even to this domestic violence, gender-based violence thing. Yeah.
So I hope people out there listen to you and everyone can join hands. So Precious, you are about to finish your. The day we're recording this podcast, you are about to finish your social change maker training kind of at Kanthari. What are you going to do after you are done with your dream speech? After you are done with this theoretical part of Kanthari?
We have already started. So there's nothing which is going to stop us now. We are going there. We are saying, women, let's come together. Let's fight this together. So now the first step is already done. And the good thing, after opening this WhatsApp group, I find now I have to create another 2 groups, extra groups, because women, they are coming in numbers, and the group had reached the limit, and I created another one. So it's something that I know that even if you go back, there are women who are waiting to walk and stand and say that, no, we have to stop this. So we have already started. So I can't say I'm going to start. We have already started the journey of this venture to stop gender-based violence. Yeah.
Well, all the best. And I'm really glad that you accepted my invitation. Thanks a lot, Precious, for your time and this incredible, important work and effort you take to fight this situation. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I am here. I just want to say to everyone who is listening to me, a no is a no. So let's join hands to end this. And for that woman who is not even sure that she's being abused, all those red flags that I spoke about, if you're experiencing all that, I can say run before it even gone too far. It will be the best decision we ever made. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And there we are at the end of the podcast to restore your faith in humanity. My guest today, kanthari participant Precious Kiwiti. She passed through hell and back, and today she can boldly say, I'm a survivor. Her organization, Precious Hearts Haven, plans to work towards the elimination of gender-based violence against girls and women in Zimbabwe through establishing safe places for women in emergencies. And she wants even more. Take a look at the work of this empowered woman at preciousheartshaven.org. I'm sure you are going to find a way to support her work. You'll find the stories of people sticking their necks out every Tuesday on Spotify, iTunes, our homepage, and every other place where you get your podcast. And, of course, if you subscribe, you don't have to look out for us. We'll be coming to you. Dear listeners, if there is a friend, a family member, an organization, or someone you know who is doing a great work in the community, someone sticking their neck out, just nominate them as a Giraffe Heroes or tell us about them. Leave a comment. Come and visit us at giraffe-heroes.eu. 2022 is fast approaching, and it couldn't get here soon enough. For most people, the new year can mark an opportunity to set New Year's resolutions or a change for a fresh start. We at the Giraffe Heroes Foundation are hoping for more Giraffe nominations in the new year and are wishing you all love, hope, and faith. My name is Jean-Pierre Aguiar Durañona, and I want to thank every person who has been as a guest in this podcast. Thanks for all the inspiration, the fun, and deep and lovely moments we shared. May we have lots more in the next new year. But especially, I wanted to thank you, dear listener, for being there, for listening to this podcast, for being part of this community. Here's for a sparkling new year. May this coming year bless you with love, peace, and empowerment. Wishing you, dear listener, and all of your loved ones, health and happiness in the new year.
Stick Your Neck Out, the weekly podcast of the Giraffe Heroes Foundation.